GSL. My conscience is telling me.
All right, it's winners match time. It's going to be Bbyong versus SOS in a day. It's Group C here today. We just are going to have every best of 3 be epic.
Yes.
Can't ask for a better day than this, especially in the round of 32.
Truly. This is the best group, the group of death for sure. So the games are definitely living up to it so far. I guess Life got kind of slain, but you know, he's having a hard time right now against Mac. So we'll see. He may have to face Bbyong again in this group, and I don't know if he can do it if he does.
Well, Bbyong right now, thing is, okay, so let's go back to that last series first. I keep thinking about it. I really feel like Bbyong played very well, but Life really messed up in game 1. I don't feel like SOS is going to be making the same mistakes that Life would make here. This should be a much bigger challenge, even though Life, I think most people would agree, is more accomplished.
Yeah, I think right now Mech against Zerg in general is really quite nice.
That's true. Yeah.
Bbyong has been liking Mech against Zerg in general, even since before that. So he's just very, very experienced in that. So that makes it very tough for Life. Now this matchup, like Bbyong has very good TDP, but I think I am favoring SOS here. Like, this guy can be masterful in every single matchup, and we already saw today, he's on top of things. Like, even when he's behind, he's making insanely genius moves that you almost never, ever see.
Map 1's going to be on Cactus Valley. I think SOS takes this 2-1. What do you think?
It sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah.
2-1 for SOS. But, I mean, if Bbyong wins, it's not like a huge upset. Bbyong has forever now been one of the best Terrans in the world. I don't know why he doesn't get his due.
HOT6 GSL 시즌 3.
You're ripping up the dance floor, you shake your ass around for HOT6.
In the upper right, in the red, our Terran for today, he is
CJ 엔투스 뿅.
Bbyong. In the bottom left, in the blue, he is
진에어 그리닝스 SOS.
Okay.
We got the $sign here for SOS. Terran symbol there for Bbyong. What was the prize pool for when he did? It was 100,000, right?
Yeah, SOS won 100 grand
100,000.
twice. BlizzCon and IM World Championships.
That's right. That's right.
It's just kind of what he does. Fantastic player. Bbyong's still waiting to win his fair share.
Yeah, Bbyong is sort of a... I don't always like doing this, but I think it is necessary when we're talking about Code S. So Code S, best 32 players in the world, but you can still even break those players into tiers.
Absolutely.
And I would say Bbyong is actually tier 2 here. Got Thor's hammer here.
Yep. I knew that from the name.
Are you a fan of Thor at all?
No.
I never knew much of the lore, or they have the Thor movies coming out.
I watched the
They're
Thor
actually
movie.
running out of superheroes at this point in time.
Yeah, well, they just keep recycling it. Did you see the 48th Fantastic Four movie is coming out?
Oh, is it?
Guess if I'll see it.
Yes.
No.
No.
It was no. It was no. I won't.
Of course
I
you won't
won't
see
watch
that.
I won't watch that. Yeah.
If I even watch that movie, I'm gonna have to pull out my Memory in Black stick and erase my
Memory in Black.
No, Men in Black. You know that stick
Yeah.
they use to erase
Yeah.
their memories?
No, totally though. It's like that's all they do now is like butcher comic books.
Did
in
you see
movies.
Alan Moore, the guy who wrote Watchmen and Swamp Thing, and he just came out and was like, yeah, these movies have nothing to do with the art or the the storytelling of the comics.
I have bad news for everyone. They are money grabs, and the studios that make them actually don't have passion for them.
This is true.
They are there to make money.
Yeah.
By the way, this is awesome. He's actually going Reactor Reaper right now.
And at the same time, we have SOS actually hiding. I believe it's the Twilight Council over there in the upper left.
Yeah.
So these guys already doing some pretty weird builds. Now, I especially like this from Bbyong because SOS is such a weird player.
Are these to scout in 2 different directions? Like,
oh, my mind is going to have an orgasm if that's what they're for.
Look.
Is this happening? What?
He may very well just
This
find
is so cool. Look at this.
And that's a
Look
DT build.
at this.
If this gets scouted,
Guys,
that is so big. It is so
He's doing
big.
the perfect build to scout.
Right now he's like, oh God, you better not.
Oh, but he's not going to go in the main, is he? Oh, but that's...
He has to act like this is a scouting probe.
Yep.
He has to hope that... Okay, does it go back? This is the important part.
Yep.
Here we are.
No!
Oh my God.
I guess it would make sense though, right? He wants to check and see where they are more so than to check for... Well, hold up.
Well, he sees the Stalker coming from that direction, so he's figured out where he is, but he didn't scout the tech. And now we have a Dark Shrine about to complete. We have 3 gates and Warp Gate. I mean, this is...
Problem is, if you go for a build where you're getting these 2 Reapers out, that doesn't mean you have less Marines when you're doing an expand build like that.
Yeah,
Terran
for sure.
are quite brittle when their army is in small numbers.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to win off of Dark Templars. He can win off of just a 3-gate rush, possibly.
Yeah, sure. Now the Reapers are going to come back here. The Dark Shrine's finishing. Where's the proxy pylon? Oh, there it is. Excuse me.
All right, here we go. 2 DTs.
All right, we have 54 energy here. I don't believe he's in the Land of Mule. He should know the timing. He might not know this is coming, but he should know. Oh my God, it's not underground.
It's okay, he's got a
split. He gets it by. He's in. Yep, he's in. He's outside the yellow circle. I can't believe it.
That's pretty big.
Now the Reaper's going to counter in here, though. This is pretty huge.
Yeah, these could get a lot of kills as well.
Problem is, if he's going to try to micro this, which he doesn't really have time for, the DT's still over here doing a lot of damage.
Oh man, another DT as well. SOS.
Now he needs to split this. He's got this round on 1. The other one should just, run up here to the upper left like that. Stay out of the circle. And look at this, he knows the timing so well. The Widowmine's coming back, but that would mean he could get maybe more DTs up in here. Whenever you do a DT rush, you got to be really patient not to overdo it.
Yeah, this is really rough. Though. I think he can't overdo it at this point. The amount of damage he's doing.
Yeah, I think
there's not even an eBay. This is like, I think he's trying to get a Raven. You know, this is...
Yeah, I think the damage would be too much though by then. We actually have 17 workers remaining to the 27.
Oh, that's such a big difference. And
this worker count, it's going to continue to get lower, guys.
All right, he got another one.
That scan is going to run out though.
Look at that Stalker.
Protoss is expanding off of this.
Stalker thinks he's so tough.
Yeah, that Stalker is a hoss, man. He's actually just hitting that reactor. But you see, he can use that, as you can see, to soak up damage from the Widow Mines.
Now he's just going to kill all the Marines. He's like, all right, now scan. The DTs beat everything you have.
You can see me beating you.
This is where he gives him vision and beats him still.
Yeah. Oh, that DT sounded like it had a stomachache when it died. It's like, oh.
Do you know what really feels bad? It's when you go double Reaper to scout and you still don't find what your opponent's doing.
It's funny because we were so excited when we saw this at the start, and look at that. The Widow Mines are just at a place. Put that DT right under that CC. Is he going to get there?
Oh, he's already got a probe doing the job.
Didn't see that with the green highlighting there. Well, each of these DTs is paid for themselves in dividends.
Oh god,
that's it. He taps out.
That's a good. He scans.
That was a good concede.
I think he saw that there was a nexus, so he's like, "Well, there's 0% to win here. This is just crazy."
Well, better, especially in a stamina. When you have a day like today where you got all these great players, everybody's watching each other, and you got to win against several different opponents. Don't waste your time in a game like that because that game should be over.
Yeah. Well,
also, SOS unlikely that he'll use that build again.
Yeah.
So.
A little grin on his face, too. He's just like, well, you know, I'm SOS. I guess I just, like, win in the weirdest ways. Oh, you did a build that should work against my build? Well, of course I'll beat it with this build.
SOS is like that guy that you know is good, but you hate to practice with.
Oh, he is. Yes, absolutely.
That's exactly what he's like.
He's like no use to practice with.
Yeah, you
he's
can't
actually no
prepare
use.
because he'll just do so many different builds.
Yeah, he's in his own world. Like, I think that this guy has to just rotate through ladder accounts and stuff, because if you figure out which barcode he is,
yeah, you're in trouble.
You suddenly, you know, kind of.
Well, you know what? I almost disagree with that, just because he's. All these people know that he's coming. These games and VODs are out there, and they still can't predict
guess that's true.
You know, You'd probably be smart to rotate out of barcodes anyways, but
Well, the thing is, like, some of these builds, like, he uses one time exactly too, right? So that's like, you got to practice those very specifically. Well, Echo going to be our next map. Kind of a little cramped map. But
there's
really
a lot
matter that much
of crazy
for
stuff
SOS.
you can do for SOS on this map as well.
Sure, yeah.
So let's go and see what Billy does, and let's see if Bbyong can figure it out. If he does figure it out, can he stop it? The game is now loading up. The winner of this best of 3 is going to be the first for today to move on to the round of 16 in the GSL Code S, the last GSL Code S of the entire year. Let's see what happens, man. I don't know. SOS looks like he can't be stopped, but Bbyong just beat life, so take everything that you think with a grain of salt.
HOT6 GSL 시즌 3
In the upper left, in the red.
CJ 엔투스 뿅
In the bottom right in the blue. He is.
진에어 그리닝스 SOS
There was a cool interview someone translated, I think, on Team Liquid for, must have been, it's the only site I go to, but about SOS and how just no one likes to play against him. He's like everyone's least favorite
so believable.
opponent. It's just, who the hell wants to play against him? He's so tough. It's just like, he's unpredictable enough that you can't predict his unpredictability because he backs it up into macro games. Like,
well, see, this is
sometimes he just plays macro.
This is when you get a player that actually is really scary. I'd say a more extreme version of this would have been Null Ra and Brood War, where like he would just do a build you could literally only do once ever.
SOS does that too.
Yeah, and
it's crazy stuff.
You look at it, it's like, because the thing about it that was scary about players like Null Ra or players like SOS is that they are really good at playing normal too. They're not like some players you'll know who will try to only cheese, or people that are trying to only 6 pool on the ladder or something, But the fact that they're able to do the normal play, but they know all these other really cheesy builds they can do really well, that's what's terrifying.
No,
because
the mind games and it's just it's crazy.
I mean, that build we saw from Bbyong, that was a very specific build tailored to SOS. I don't think he would have done that build if Stork was in the game.
Maybe not. You might be right about that.
The double scout like that.
It definitely could be. But SOS is that tough, and he is that creative. It's a beautiful thing to get to watch. It's great that we have a player like this, I have to say. Well,
looks like he's going to back up now. Go ahead and throw up his Nexus. And see, this is the beauty of the best of 3 or the best of 5 versus the best of 1, is to watch how a player transitions, what information will he reveal or not reveal in a series. Because StarCraft, when you're learning StarCraft and learning how to beat your opponent, it is as much, you are the scouting probe, okay? But you got to scout out and scout VODs and get information on how they play and then try to understand their mode of thought here, too. I think SOS, out of everybody we've had in StarCraft II, it just seems to be the best at throwing people off.
it seems, he is.
A lot of the players
there's
win with
really an
mechanical
argument.
superiority or
Better micro or macro.
like a parting or something, better micro.
He's much more, he's so strategic and so full of mind games. It's just something else. Well, this is kind of like a cute Zealot to have out here. Don't see it too often like this, but he gets a lot of intel, and he might disrupt this a little bit. Look, make him lose a little bit of mining time. Don't think it'll do too much, but hey, if he kills even 1 SCV with this, it's pretty good.
All right, pushes back
And
that mule there.
Truth be told, even getting the scouting intel he got is worth the Zealot, to be perfectly honest. Like, now he can just look and be like, okay, you have most likely just like a mine drop coming, possibly Hellions, and now he can just make sure that can't do damage to him, and that's definitely worth 100 minerals in that Zealot.
Zealot openings have been historically not as popular.
Definitely.
StarCraft II, but I think they actually do have their place. in StarCraft in general.
Yeah. SOS does mix them in every now and then. Like sometimes if you just make a Zealot and send it across, they go CC first, and you're like, ha ha, this is really annoying now.
You know what's funny? I'll give you guys an example of something like this. It happened way early in the days when people were in StarCraft. Was I guess that. Okay, let me think of how to phrase this. Okay, so what's the basic thing that everybody probably learned when they started playing StarCraft? You got to wall in.
Yeah.
Now, at the time when people started doing this, it was so crazy, right? You'd wall in with your buildings. That's not what the buildings were there for. As you can see in design, they're intended for it in StarCraft II. They sink in the ground. But so what happened? The reason why they had to wall in was because Zealots did too much damage to Terran. All the Terrans on the internet would just die.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, Micro did not quite exist as a concept.
Yeah.
The way it did back then. So that's shifted the meta. Then all the Terrans were walling in to stop a Dragoon rush. And this went on for a couple years. And then eventually some Terrans realized, well, I'm actually saving mining time by making my depot next to my my command center, because all the Terrans the Protosses stopped Zealot rushing.
Yeah.
Long time ago. So then these guys were actually able to pull off these moves by not walling in and getting more. And then very late in the meta, Protosses started doing something very basic with the Zealot, sending it in there again.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like this full circle.
And then a new building placement arrived with
yes,
sneaking Marines in between funny building cracks and stuff.
Yeah,
but
in between the command center.
it's very interesting the way that works. By the way, is this a probe in here? Yeah, it is. All right, we'll see what yeah, this is so cool that we're watching, guys. He's actually going for like a 6-gate into this base, making a pylon.
Oh, and look at this.
This is so insane. I've never quite seen this. Doesn't look like it's working. That might be why.
Well, I mean, let's see. It depends on where he has his Marines. I mean, he's kind of keeping them busy. You can see the probe was brought with this because he wants to get a pylon up there no matter what.
He wants to warp into both
a
locations.
sentry over here. Yeah, there you go.
I guess it is working,
it
actually.
does work.
I mean, he's hitting down here pretty darn hard at the moment. You can't walk down the ramp against that, that's for sure.
This command center is actually getting dangerously low, by the way.
Indeed it is.
So he just backs off.
Well, still,
Wow.
this has been kind of all right. Now, the game is not over. He's about to have medevacs out, which means he won't die, but his stim is rather late, which is an issue.
Oh, I think that with I think the issue, you're right, it's stim.
Yeah, if he had...
Stim is, the fact that it's this late means SOS can abuse him so badly.
Jeez.
Oh my god, and look at the building placement with this, actually. Now this is like a force field. The Terran force fielded himself almost up here. Zealots are going to squeeze through.
Yeah, those Zealots are going to be so useful here. SCV's coming up, doing what they can, but some good micro here from Bbyong, keeping that Marauder alive, pushing back SOS for the time being. Now, remember, SOS doesn't have tech behind this. If this doesn't kill him, Bbyong should be able to counterattack as he gets stim and a few more medevacs, and that's going to be very hard to hold.
You can see he's going to clean up these refineries. I do believe he's interested in re-engaging here.
Yeah.
Problem is that if he drops in the main, SOS will actually just walk up into Bbyong's main.
Yeah.
So
he's got to actually like fight through this army, kind of. But you know what? Once you get stim and enough medevacs and a decent ball, like just gateway units with no upgrades, melt. But he has to get up to that
I think there's a timing window though here.
It might be.
The tech lab is like, hold up.
Oh man, he even gets a Widow Mine there, moving forward under this time warp. But does he actually have enough? There's a lot of Marauders in there.
The Zealots are starting to disappear, but well, the thing is, there's a medevac out, which helps a lot. But
it looks like that's
I think you can just target this down. Yeah, it's at that point where it snowballs. And look at that beautiful time warp there on the SCVs.
So well done. He's trying his best to micro here. The SCVs do come out.
That's game.
Just enough Zealots there to really tank against them, though.
Yeah, that's game. Wow, SOS. I mean, dude, he's so good with these strats he picks. He's like, when is the last game he casted where there were 3 Stalkers and a Warp Prism and a Probe, and he drops in the main, makes a pylon to actually scare the Terran, to overcompensating, to over-defending his main, rotates back out.
Well, I mean, I could have stopped you halfway through that and said never. So,
that is the
but when you add everything together, it's just like, well, I mean, this is SOS for you guys. He is something else altogether.
Crazy, man. Well, Bbyong has to feel horrible. I hate saying it, but I mean,
what do you even say to?
What do you even say to
that?
Are
you supposed to feel bad losing to SOS? everyone takes their turn getting pummeled by strategies they've never seen
I
by
think
him.
SOS has had more build order or fake out strategic wins
Than
like
anyone ever.
anybody. Yeah,
By
ever.
far.
By far. It's like he looks at the player, he knows the all-in or the fake information to put out. Every guy that plays SOS, I mean, probably feels like they're walking on quicksand, you know?
Yeah.
It just, very impressive stuff, man. Well, I mean, there's not much else to say, guys. We saw 2 technical rushes that will now ruin the current meta of the ladder for this week, because that's how this works here at GSL.
C조의 첫 번째
Sometimes, for sure.
진출자 진에어 그린hills 김유진 선수 만나보겠습니다.
So our first player to advance is
먼저
Group C.
소감 들어볼게요.
네,
How do you feel?
한대로 잘 된 것 같아서 다행인 것 같아요.
네.
All my matches win as I
오늘
prepared. I'm really satisfied with my play
고민을
tonight.
계속 하시는 모습이었어요. 오늘 뭘 제일 잘했는지 아직도 좀 그러세요?
승자전 같은 경우에는
What were you most satisfied with today?
써서 이긴 거라서
네.
Well, my builds in the winners match, they just were
그 첫 세트
exactly the way I practiced them in the team
경기를
house.
끝냈던
I
그
used my
세트도
counter builds very well.
첫 세트는 어떠셨어요?
정우영 선수가
How about that first match you played today?
하면 팩하는 걸
Oh, the first set against Bbyong, you mean?
1, 2세트 다 카운터식으로 끝냈던 것 같아요.
네. 사실이
If he goes Reapers, he tends to use factories.
약간 김유진
So I was
선수가
able to
아무
punish
기사를
that.
못했나 봐요.
Yeah.
제가 지난 프로리그에서
네.
처음에 똑같은 빌드로 출발해서
네.
전멸 추적자를 했었거든요. 아마 전멸 추적자를 생각하지 않았나
네.
생각하고 있어요.
네,
On the
그래서
recent Pro
굉장히
League, I used the same
많아
start.
보였는데
And then I went to
결국에는
Blink Soccer, so I was wondering if
대로
maybe he looked at my VODs.
오늘 사실
He might have thought I was going to do something in one of my previous games.
경기
That might have thrown him
손이
off.
덜 풀린 느낌은 들었는데 그래도
The mind
일단은
games are so deep. He
깔끔하게
really has done his homework.
이겼죠.
Yeah,
It's this is the
It's
guy.
so impressive.
This is what he does.
선수심한
pays his
코치기도
bills.
하잖아요. 그래서 좀 심리전을 많이 걸었는데
네.
반은 먹힌 것 같고
Stork is a player as well as a coach, so I wanted to use some mind games
그래도
against him.
프로토스는 어차피 한방 싸움이거든요.
And I think that worked pretty
한방 싸움만
effectively.
잘하면 되겠다 생각하고 있었어요.
네. 아쉽게
And I know if I
내줬던
just win
2세트 경우에는
The first big battle in
어떠셨어요?
the PvP, I'm going to take that match, no problem.
제가 유리하다고 생각했었는데
So I really try to focus in my engagements, especially in PvP.
제가 생각한 것보다 훨씬 빨라가지고
네.
최대한 따라가자 했었는데
Stork actually expanded faster than I expected, though.
인구수도 조금
So
막히는
after I saw that, I just wanted to play catch up.
프로토스전 초반에는 손이 좀 덜 풀린 듯한 모습이었는데 그러진 않으셨어요?
손 좀 덜 풀리긴 했었는데 그래도 한방 싸움은 변하지 않는다고 생각하고 있었고 최대한 한방 싸움 위주로
I wasn't really warmed up in my first match against Stork.
네 세트 일단 병력의
But I was able to
양이나
focus
이런
enough.
면에서는 굉장히 좋았는데
My macro worked out well in the huge
사실
engagements,
선수도 굉장히 잘하시거든요.
and that's why I was able to win against
사실
Stork.
지난번에 4강에서도 갔었고 경기력이 계속 유지가 돼서 다행인데 이번 시즌도 자신 있으세요?
우선 32강
So
하면서
Stork, last time you advanced to the semifinals, what's your goal for this season?
걱정해 주시더라고요. 이제 32강도 못 올라가는 거 아니냐고.
네.
근데 아직 32강은 넘었지만
I know a lot of my fans are worried when they saw the group in the round of 32.
한 단계 한 단계 더
But
올라갈
I hope
수
their
있도록
minds are relieved now that I've advanced
다른
from this very
분들은
difficult group.
걱정을 해주셨다는 거는 요즘 연습 안 하셨다는 거 아니에요?
아, 그건 아닌데
네.
그냥 좀 게임이 잘 안 풀려가지고
네.
더 그랬던 것 같아요.
네. 오늘 참 압도적인 경기를
says, "Why were your fans worried about your play?"
기분 좋게 이기셨으니까요.
He says, "It was because I didn't really do well in Pro League matches
자,
recently."
이번에도 조지명식에 마찬가지로 참여하게 됐는데 이번에 활약하실 거예요? 태물이죠 또
So now they're in the group
와주시고.
selection.
네,
How do you
이제
feel about that?
태물이 몇 명 안 남은 것 같아요.
아.
올라올 수 있을지도 모르겠고
네.
그냥 재밌게 했으면 좋겠어요.
네.
I want to make a
자,
similar
이번
group
시즌
like I did
김유진
last
선수,
season.
이번에는 결승
So I want to make a group of all the has-beens that get to round of 16. But then again, I guess those guys might not be advancing anyways.
한 단계 한 단계 이겨서 조직명식도 재밌게 하고 8강도 가고 4강도 가고
네.
So anyways, I'm just going to go step by step and try to advance as far as I
네,
can.
알겠습니다.
This time around,
김유진
hopefully I can
선수
make it to the
다시 한번
finals,
축하드립니다.
especially since it's the last season of this year's GSL Code
자,
S.
이렇게 C조의 첫 번째
But that's even
승리강
cool
진출자
that
김유진
that's
선수를
really cool that he even
만나봤습니다.
pointed out that
자,
Stork being a coach, you can use additional mind games there because Stork obviously spends all day trying to coach his players how to identify cheese. Anyways, really cool stuff. We're going to go to a short break here, and when we return, we're going to go to the losers match and see who will be eliminated first in today's GSL Code.